Let's check that camera again. There we go. The same thing happened last time. Oh, you're coming in quick. What do we have here? Andrew Eliason is here. Brad King. Rex Ricardus. Oh, we got Andrew Moss. We got a celebrity here tonight. Big Andrew Moss from Andrew Moss Outdoors. If you don't know Andrew, go ahead and click on his tag and subscribe to him. Oh, Chad is here. Good evening. I missed who was. Hang on. Let me pull it up. Craig Rogers. Oh, Stropton Dangerous here. Ryan. Nice crew flown in. Oh, that's good to hear. Sounds decent to me too. I just tuned it up before I came on. This guitar hasn't been played in, since the last time I played it on the live stream probably, which was not the last live stream, I don't think. And then we missed a few on Christmas. So it's been probably a month, I'm thinking, since this old guitar has been played. Yep, Chad again, remind you guys with the thumbs up. Chad just finished his shed chores. Oh, Brian Abbott is here, welcome. How was your guys' week? Tell me about your week. It's been a good week here, getting back into the flow of good, like a solid week of knife work instead of mixing around at different various projects, because there's been a lot of tying up loose ends and things like that. But it's been a good solid week of knife work, quite productive. I've got some cool pieces in glue up there now, multiple projects that I'm filming. But tell me about your week. We've had 2 snowstorms this week. I believe it was Sunday night through Monday, and then Thursday night and cleared up this morning. So I was out early this morning for my wife went to work, and was clearing snow, plowing. I've been shoveling out with the snow blower. I love plowing with the truck, but the snow sure does make a lot of work. An awful lot of work. And if you're someone that's already short on time, which most of you guys are, I would imagine. are you guys saying here? Any word from Mark? I haven't. Oh, well, I believe he commented on a recent video, but no real news, I'll say, as such. Chad says they virtually have no snow and it's supposed to turn bitter cold. Chad is in on the east coast of Newfoundland, in St. John's area. And yeah, it's crazy. Not much snow. We are buried here, the most we've had in years. And we're in like a week of down in the minus teens here now. It's going to be cold. Minus, I think we had minus 24 the other night with wind chill. So it was, it's been chilly. Strop Dangerous asks if, so he says, so you're finished with your New Year's knife vacation? All finished with that, sir. Back rolling in motion. Andrew says lots of snow over here in Deer Lake working this weekend. Oh, working on the weekend again, Andrew. Planning more videos in the next few weekends. Some ice fishing, nice. Glad you liked the chef video, buddy, the chef knife video. That was fun. That was a fun video. I've got some good content lined up. Lots of videos filed on the desktop, waiting to be edited and uploaded. But it's the editing I've tried. I was supposed to upload a video I intended early this week, and I tried every day this week. When Tuesday came, I said, okay, I'll finish that video up and get it up today. And then Wednesday came, and I said, okay, I got to finish that video up today and get it uploaded. And then Thursday passed, and now it's into Friday. And when I got up this morning, I said, I'm going to make sure I got that video up today. And the day gets away, and you guys got to get chattier. I'm just on here. Nobody's told me much about their week yet. Ryan is here. Ryan will have something to say. I've got videos in motion, guys. I'm building a custom pair of, I'll say hunting, skinning knives, but they're kind of hunting / general use camp knife. But these are two premium pieces. They're numbered 1 and 2. One is wearing some ancient oak and the other one is wearing some beautiful sapele. Both with brass scarred work. They are going to be fantastic. Heat treated blades finished now, and I just glued them up this evening. So they'll be ground in probably early next week. I also have so that's its own project. It's going to be probably a couple part series. And then I have a really beautiful chef's knife build that just sort of happened off the cuff. I was cutting out material for another project, and I was having a conversation with a longtime client and friend about building him a chef's knife. And we hadn't even finalized the build as such, but it just so happened that the materials worked out that when I saw that piece, I said, sheesh, I think that's the perfect piece of material right there for this chef's knife I have envisioned. Just the right dimensions, the right shape. A lot of times when you're cutting out a billet, you know, I try to use 3-inch wide billets. And you're cutting out, I try to be as conservative as possible. So you're cutting into a handle and then you try to, you know, cut down around a blade. And the inverse of that material, you know, you try to be as efficient with that as possible. And it just happened to be the perfect piece to build this chef's knife. And so I ran with it. And it's turning out beautifully, beautifully. Actually, I drew this template for this chef's knife, and I'm contemplating adding it to the website as an official, like, recurring knife pattern, an official production pattern. I haven't fully decided yet because it is a little bit of a pain to grind. It has almost a 45-degree plunge line, which I explain in the videos for a couple different reasons, but while it looks really beautiful, it is a pain to grind. So we'll see, but it's such a beautiful chef's knife, and I definitely will be making one for my own self soon. It's a really great piece. Strapped has dibs on one of the pair of hunting knives. They are looking great. Like I said, I stamped them 1 and 2. Filming the project as well. It's well documented. I'm taking a bit of extra time to film, so that's fun. Andrew asks, one question he wanted to ask, do you think you'll do any leatherwork videos soon? I find it so calming. Oh, leatherwork is calming, and I find it like that when I'm doing it as well. I just might. I've got to do some leather work here soon. Actually, I just got an order placed today for a custom knife, a really nice knife. Kind of high ticket, medium high ticket knife build with a stag handle. The guy's sending in his piece of antler, and then a custom belt to match, and then a custom ammunition carrier to match that goes on that. So it's kind of a whole hunting heirloom set. I built a set maybe last year, year and a half ago. Totally different knife design. I don't know if you guys remember that set I built. That was sort of the same sort of deal. A custom belt, an ammunition carrier, as well as a custom knife to match. Now that hunting knife was built to that customer specs. This customer has a whole different set of specs. It depends on what you're doing with your knife, what you like, what your preferences are. But yeah, that should be some good leatherwork content coming up, buddy. This year's actually pretty nicely booked with some custom projects and some interesting custom builds. I plan to do a series of or a number of collector's series builds again this year, like batches, like we did the Remembrance Day knives and that type of thing. We have one coming up that's already in production right now that's being filmed. Strap says, I think you really need a chef's knife in your gallery / inventory. Agreed. I've always had the Santoku model that I developed early in my knife making career. That's been kind of a recurring build over the years as people ask for a kitchen knife. I recommend that one because I really love it. I own it. I use it myself. That just reminded me, there's one of my knives, my home kitchen knives that are missing. Can't imagine where that would have went. Some of you guys might remember it's the Santoku with the rear pointed, the pointed hilt Santoku with that orange, white, and black layered G10. You guys remember that? I built that knife back when I was still in that unheated shop. My fingers are so sore tonight, guys. I actually have one of my fingers torn here, the nail torn away from my index finger. It's really uncomfortable on the guitar. I hope it goes away because this Sunday night our church is traveling to the seniors' home about 40 minutes away. We're trying to do that now once a month where we're going to host a service with them, a church service. And for that, I play the acoustic guitar. And I really enjoy that. So I'm trying to be gentle. I'm hoping that finger heals up. If not, it's going to be misery for me. Just like it is here now. Very uncomfortable. And oh, Chris is here. Welcome, Chris. Brad King, that's right. Just like that pattern I made for you with, I think you have some ancient oak, copper, and some green burl in yours. Am I right? Sometimes they get a little fuzzy now, but not because I'm that old, just because I have a lot of builds under my belt. Something I'm doing this year that I have not done in the past, and it's just a cause of growth or necessity of growth, is I'm planning out my year, because I do have people booking builds now. They're booking them a year plus out. Like I ended this year, I processed orders in December where they said, okay, this is the knife that I want, but I'm not going to need it until next Christmas. And so that works really nicely, because what I've done now is I've set up a 12-month build calendar, and I'm placing things in that makes sense. Because I'm not going to jump on that build when I have a guy that comes to me now and says, listen, my grandfather's birthday is next month, and it would just mean the world to me to get this whatever custom piece built. Of course, I'm not going to take the time for 2026 Christmas build right now. I'm going to hold off on that, but I want to make sure I have them scheduled in along the way. So I intend to do a Remembrance Day series again this year, a Remembrance Day collector series. And the plan is I've already got that allotted time booked in to do that later this year. So I can see what's coming up and hopefully be a little more efficient, make sure I have materials in, that kind of thing. Bird and trout, yes. That's another one that I have. They're about to ship. They're shipping. I think one has shipped maybe, but anyways, they're shipping. They're complete. Actually, this right here is the last one completed. And this is a slightly modified version, as you can see here, for Rocco. Doesn't look like he's here tonight. He a lot of times comes in a little late, so he might show up in a bit. But I just finished the final one. They're about to go out, and I did film that whole project. So that's another one that I have sitting there in the footage bank. Apple 7603 says, would like to support at some point, but other draws on funds at the moment. Yeah, absolutely. One suggestion, as I can only look at under 3 inches for UK, could you include blade length in the website as well as overall length? Absolutely. The Mini Tradesman and the Bake Apple are your only options, really. Possibly the EDC Warncliffe, but I think that one might top the 3-inch limit. Oh, Andrew got it. Those are a couple of good songs paired up. It was the second one. No, it wasn't. It was, what was it? And the old rugged cross made the difference in a life bound for heartache and defeat. You can continue it. in your living room or wherever you are. Maybe you're working. I don't think my throat is good enough to climb up. You love your bake apple? Excellent, excellent. The bake apple is a fun knife, beloved for sure. So many of them now gone all over the world, and I don't think I've ever heard a negative response on the bake apple. Of course, the bake apple you're buying knowing the size limitations, and so that comes with it. So for someone to come back and say this knife is too small, well, it is the dimensions that it's intended to be. You use it within its intended use, but it's a very fun knife for sure. Classic lines, feels great in the hand, nice and compact. I find you always feel with the bake apple, you always feel confident. Sometimes when I'm using a big knife, and that's one thing I've come to pull away from the real big knives, and as I get older, I want something a little more compact and a little more compact. And you never feel quite confident with that much blade in front of your hand. That's what I've found. Something compact like the bake apple, you can really envelop the hand with your thumb. If you're, say, caping with it with your index finger out on the blade, you can get to the knife tip. So you have full control. There's nothing outside of your immediate area that's wandering around out there. Oh, that's great to hear, Chad. Chad says his bake apple's been used for everything from cleaning rabbits to cutting up veggies for camp stew. He still uses the Tradesman on more of a regular basis, but the apple gets lots of hand time. Fantastic. Hey, Chad, do you bring the Tradesman into work? Michael, you're coming in late, buddy. Way late. Out strolling with the wife again, sipping coffees, having date nights. What was I gonna say? Gone just like that. Oh, no, I remember what I was gonna say. Last week, guys, I wanted to apologize. Last week, I was, if you remember the week before we had a live stream, we're getting back to the regulars. And I mentioned that the week before there had been a death in the family. Well, last week on Friday night, there was still some of the family who had flown home for the funeral and stuff. We had decided to have a family gathering at my aunt's who lost her husband. And so we had a family gathering, and I was supposed to make it out of there in time for the live stream, but it didn't happen. So we were just kind of there enjoying each other's company, and it ran long, and my phone died, so I couldn't even make a post to say, hey, there'll be no live stream. So I apologize for that. I know a couple of you were here waiting. No doubt a bunch of you came in to check to see if the stream was going on, but Andrew says, my friend Jonathan's wife, Hannah, bought one for him for Father's Day. Would you happen to remember the model? No, if I remember correctly, these little details are starting to get hard on the old brain here. If I remember correctly, that was a Yellow Fox, which is a designated hunting and skinning knife, buddy. A fantastic blade. Speaking of which, do you have all game tags filled now? Everything done with? But yeah, that was, do you remember, was it a turquoise color, Andrew? Chad says the tradesman has been on his hip for some jobs, but the leatherman is more of a work carry for me in a fab shop. Yeah, I get that. Brad says being with family is more important. I agree, buddy. I'm trying to work on that a little more to take it as that time becomes available, and sometimes it's just gonna look like that. Michael, did you get the bird and trouts shipped out yet? No, sir. I think I believe one has gone out. I believe one has gone out that was a gift, so that one went out a little bit early. But the rest are here on the shipping table, ready to go out. Actually, I just finished the last one day before yesterday, which was Rocco's. Rocco had a custom inlay in his. He actually had a custom inlay on both sides. Let's see. Check out the other side. Look at that. The camera's not doing a great job focusing. You're not picking up the details, but it's a beautiful, I believe that's a salmon. Very beautiful. And then here's a set of geese. Really lovely. The bird and trout is a great pattern, isn't it? Oh, we got the lighting to hit it perfectly right there. I'll freeze right there. If you want to take a screenshot, you can. But there is that divot, and that is the same thing on the other side. Let's see if we can nail it. Nope, forever gone. Hang on. Okay, there it is. There it is. This is, I think, going to be a hit. I think you guys who have one of this first batch coming, I think you're really going to love it. Just feels so good in the hand. So much control. The lines are, in my opinion, real sharp. Just works for the eyes. Works for all the ergos. I love it. Great sheath design, although a little more complicated to make, a little more time consuming to make. It is a great design. Really lovely design. Good looking, durable, since there are no, it's single piece, which takes a while to design. It's a one piece sheath, except for the welt. You can see everything is folded. So there are no extra pieces added on where things are going to give out and that type of deal. Chad says he's using the tradesman around the yard, cabin house. Been heavily used and abused. I can say with certainty it's a tough knife. Oh yeah. Ryan, by the way, I've got, if you're still here, Ryan, buddy, I've got your tradesman here on the table. Not that I can show tonight. It's there in glue up in clamps. Okay, Andrew. Yeah, that turquoise yellow fox. Yeah, that was such a beautiful knife. I'm not sure if there's, I almost think there's a turquoise yellow fox on the site right now. And it is a beauty. By the way, guys, check out knknives.ca. Good time to plug my work. Check out knknives.ca and check out the shop tab. Check out the collector series tab. Have some fun on there. Spend a little money. Show a little support. On the knife services tab, there's a contact form if you need to get a hold of me for some reason. If you want one of these first, I'll say collector's edition, collector's series, bird and trouts, I think there might be one available. And I have not posted them or advertised them or anything like that at this point. I filmed all the videos, but Andrew says you filled 5 out of 7 tags. Time ran out. Yeah, that happens. But you did get up some good content, buddy. That's great. Strapped and dangerous. You said, is that question mark? Maybe I'm missing it. Yeah, Brad King's got one coming down. One Moon Collective. Glad you like the knife. Oh, that's good performance. Andrew Moss commented on behalf of his buddy Jonathan. He said the knife is awesome. They're talking about the Yellow Fox. 2 full moose clean without sharpening. Okay, got it strapped. 2 full moose clean without sharpening. That is excellent. You must be pretty. You must not be lending your knife out to anyone, and you must be taking good care when you're animal processing, because moose is no joke. That fur, it is unbelievable what it can do to a knife. And you think fur, a lot of times you think fur, you think, oh, soft, plush fur. And it is not like that. It is like steel wool. It is so abrasive, so hard. It's incredible. What got me thinking about working in stainless? I want to build a set of, and this is really the reason, because in terms of bushcraft knives, woods knives, even hunting knives, I've never had, even kitchen knives, I'll add kitchen knives. I've never really desired, man, I wish I had a stainless product. I love carbon steel, love so much about it. The only place where I wish that I had stainless gear and wish that I was producing stainless gear is a fishing knife series. I'd love to build some filleting knives. I'd love my own line of filleting knives and just general water type knives. A boating knife maybe with some serrations or that type of thing. There's a number of different ideas of water related knives that I'd love to build, especially as my interest in boating increases every year. Last year, that was our summer. We spent the summer on the water. So as that progression is happening, I find myself more and more wanting to bring my world of knives on the water. And I get, when I'm out here and I'm going around, and you get boaters from neighboring communities seeing me out there, and we're all fishing, and they ask me, they'll comment, you got any knives with you? I needs a good knife for me fish. And I say, no. And I've had so many requests last year out on the water. You make filleting knives? No, sorry, it's not something I do. If I was building and working regularly with stainless, I could do that. Would have some good fun with that, and would, like I said, would join my 2 worlds of knife work and boating. So that's where that comes from. In the last couple of days, I've been thinking about that much more, and I've watched a couple business videos in the past few days, or maybe it's podcasts. Let's do a couple podcasts, and they were just talking about, that investment. Just make the investment. Just make the investment. If you're in business, just make that step. And sometimes I get fired up and I'm ready. If I had it teed up on the computer, in that moment, I might go in my excitement and hit the purchase button. But then I get to thinking and I get to thinking and I don't know if it's the right time and it's a substantial new investment in time and energy and study and equipment, of course, financial investment. Heat treat ovens have almost doubled since I've started knife making. And then I started putting together plans to build my own. That way I could tailor it and get it to the dimensions that I'd like to work with. But I do strongly feel that this year is the year. You're a big fan of 14C28, and I like it as well. From Castro, I haven't worked with. Yeah, Brian's in for a fillet knife. So we'll have to get a list going. A little boat knife, half serrated, half saber, with a chisel tip and synthetic grippy handles and a synthetic sheath with a screw hole to mount it onto a boat somewhere. Now you're quite in. You sound like you've put some thought into that, or maybe you've seen it before, and you've seen it from a company that can make it for and sell it to you, get it to the consumer level, bring it to market for like $23. That is some of the problem. I have a group of old fellas there's a community we go to, you guys have seen me heading to, where we eat at that restaurant on the water. And there's a group of old fellows up there, and they keep hounding me, did you bring any knives this time? You bring any knives? I want to buy a fishing knife. I want to buy a good fishing knife. And they're saying, all I've ever used is junk. I can't get nothing to hold an edge, blah, blah, blah. And I've said a couple times, I just kind of joke back at them, you know, a good knife costs, you got to pay for a good knife, right? Oh, yeah, I'm willing to pay. If you got one, I'm willing to pay. But a lot of people, I will say, are not, of course. Even a $200 knife is, we're all generally knife guys here, but in the non-knife world, a $200 knife is outside of most people's wheelhouse. It's just not on the table. Not necessarily because it would be impossible financially, but because they could never imagine spending that kind of money on a knife. Not when you can go to Walmart and get one in a blister pack for $23. Strapped and dangerous, so wound up buying a stainless neck knife for surf casting as an emergency tool. Okay. A known brand or just a little cheapy or something? I'm knowing you, I'm thinking not. Blue Dog finally got a notification for my live. Great. Happy to have you here. We have 26 people here. Oh. Let me put this guitar aside for a moment. Let's see. The time is now, right? 29 people. Why don't you guys go ahead? I'm in the mood. I was in the mood tonight. I'd like to give away to someone on the stream here this early model. It's not a prototype. Not a prototype, Michael, but it is one of the early mini tradesmen. One of the early mini tradesmen. And the black G10 with the navy liners. I'd like to give it away to someone here on the stream. Why don't... Suggestions on how to go about a draw. One Moon Collective, I agree. And I find that as well with the hunting knives, that you have guys that hunting has been such a big part of their life. They just love it. And people around them know that this is what Pop loved. This is what Pop just loved to hunt. Loved it in the woods, loved to hunt, loved in around the campfire, in on the woods road, having a fire and a lunch. And for that whole time, and without being too materialistic, that whole time they could have had one really beautiful knife and have been using it on the hunt and using it around the campfire. And this is Pop's knife, and that knife has so much value when that person passes or just passes it down to a son or a grandson or that type of thing. It has so much value. But instead, a lot of times we buy junk after junk after junk, and it all is just thrown in the trash, just adding to the trash pile when you could invest in a tool and have it for a lifetime, for decades. I see either no one is, everyone's thumbs must be frozen. Random comment generator. I can do that after the fact, but I don't think I can do that on here now. And I'm on my phone. Pick a number. That was the only thing that was in my mind, Jake. That's a good suggestion. We might have to do it a couple times because... No, but I wonder if that still leaves you guys to question my integrity on whether the number I said was the number that I was thinking of or that type of thing. Let's keep it simple. Comment a number between 1 and 20. Also, you are only eligible to win if you're above 18 years of age, which I would imagine everyone here is, but... Can you all confirm that you're over 20 or over 18? Oh, Andrew, love them. I used to be kind of big into not war memorabilia, but war era firearms. I actually have a few videos online where I'm working on and restoring and modifying some war era firearms. There are some great ones. Okay, we'll stop. Just looking through them. You guys can hold up there now. Sorry, I got distracted. Then the number was guessed twice, and I'm not going to base it on time in, so we'll make those two guys guess again. The number was 17 was in my mind, and that's Mr. Michael Jones and a Mr. Snow Pro 7C. Both guessed 17. That was the number in my mind. So we'll get those two gentlemen, if they're still here, to guess now. The chances of them guessing again, but those two guys pick a number between 1 and 10. You got it, Michael. I'll just go with time this one. It was a 6. Congratulations to Michael Jones, 73. Michael, if you want to shoot me an email, kyle@np-inc.ca. If you want to head over to my, if you can't, or if you're having a difficulty, you want to keep it simple, you head to my website, knives.ca, and just use the contact form there. It's in a couple different pages on the site, but use the contact form. And Ryan, did you check out and just come back? Did Ryan miss the whole draw? Oh boy, oh boy. Thank you guys for congratulating. Oh, Ryan, you missed the knife draw. Michael Jones, 73. Were you born in 73? I appreciate your guys' support. I appreciate you all being pretty relaxed. Okay, Michael Jones, born in 73. Very cool. Very cool. Just a little giving back, guys. I'll do that occasionally. We gave one last. Shooter says that was fun. Should do more often. Yeah, I get that. I get that. It is a little pricey. It is a little pricey on my end. So I wouldn't want to do it too much more often, but. Oh, good, Michael. I'm happy you're excited. Happy that you're above the age limit. But we'll do one here occasionally. If nothing else, might keep you guys coming back to check in on the live stream to see what you may or may not miss. Oh, I don't have any more steel, guys, to show you tonight. Be on the lookout for new video content coming up next week. Hopefully some new stuff up on the website. Yeah, things are going great here at the KN Knives Workshop. Chad says his next knife will be a mini tradesman. I think I have one up there in cherry red, buddy, to match your full size. I appreciate you all hanging out. Does anyone have a last question for me? Last question before I sign off. Head home, hang out with my lovely lady. I can't say ladies because they're all in bed by now. How's my dad doing? My dad is doing great. Thank you for asking. He's healthy, no health issues. Our family, and Ryan just asked, how are the girls doing? Same thing. We're very fortunate right now. No real big health issues in the family. Everyone's doing well. Everyone's pretty happy. No one's suffering. Speaking to my own little immediate family now, doing well. My wife's work is well. The girls' homeschool is well. Our church is doing well, and we're well involved. It's just lovely. Life is good, guys. I appreciate your all your support. What are you watching with the wife tonight? We have been working through for a couple weeks now, just picking away at it very slowly. We're watching a scattered episode of a show called The Good Doctor, which is pretty good. I'm back and forth on it. It's about a doctor primarily about a doctor who has autism and all the struggles and advantages that come with that. It's pretty interesting. Jordan Stuckless, I do not make folding knives. Not at this point in my career. All of my ladies are great, Chris. Just fantastic. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate your support. If you want to get a hold of me, use the form on the website, or a lot of you guys just know my email anyways. A lot of you guys I have on text and Messenger and Instagram and that kind of thing. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for a great week. I look forward to seeing you all, or talking with you all again next Friday. Maybe later slip joints. We'll see. Have a great weekend.